Good morning and welcome to Cappin at the Spa, 2019 edition. I'm Saratoga Geeze and we're recording live from Quivik Drive in sunny Saratoga. Looking forward to a fabulous meet, and we have with us two of our favorite prognosticators, Daily Double Dan on the left and Exacta Box Bobby on the right. How you doing, boys?
Well,
Doing good.
Excellent. Any thoughts, Danny, on the changes in the meet or anything special you're looking forward to this year at the spa?
no real thoughts on changes to the meet. Give us an extra weekend to come down here, which is nice. Two things I'm looking forward to. Dozer's Wings. Dozer's Bar and Grill located here in Saratoga Springs. Best wings on the planet. Second thing I'm looking forward to is Exacta Box Bobby continuing to bring in the cooler every day to the track. Till he picks a winner on the show, he brings in that cooler every day. Love that.
I'm sensing a throwdown here. What do you have to say about that?
Thanks
Dave,
for that
Bobby?
call out, Daily Double Dan. For what I'm looking forward to at the meet, I'm looking forward to picking a winner so I can stop bringing in the cooler, as Dan mentioned. Definitely prefer the new schedule. Give us an extra weekend at the meet. People who are coming from out of town, working Monday through Friday, getting that extra weekend gives us, more chance to be up here at Saratoga. And then just generally looking forward to the high quality of racing we have here. Full field, very evenly matched, gives us a lot of good betting opportunities.
Excellent. My thoughts are very simple. Good weather, keep the races on the grass, and it leads to great opportunities for everybody. And we have 6 for you today. Remember, our situation here is 6 to 1 or better horses that we like to give you. We want you to take a good look at them, hook them up with your horses you like, but we're trying to get some good prices that can lead to either some good win bets or certainly exactas, trifectas, supers, and so forth. So we're going to start, and we're going to go to race 2, and we're going to go to Dan with his first pick of the season.
All right, race 2, maiden $40,000 race, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. This race is wide open here, starting with the 1, Winifred J. 2 to 3 year old improvement here, ran a nice race on the turf last year. 3, Mike's Girl, going to be out on the lead. I'm sensing a little bit of pace here, so I'm looking for someone to come off the pace. That led me to the number 8, Vitanza here, trained by James Bond, which I like. I actually had it last time out at 14 to 1, going 6 furlongs. Closed well from 10th place, 6 lengths off the lead. Finished 2 lengths off in 6th place. The top 3 or 4 horses just ran around the track and no one passed any of them. Very few horses closed. It was actually the 8 and the 10 were the only horses that closed. Magical Romance, who's also in this race, 20 to 1 morning line, actually finished ahead of Vitanza by a nose. I'm going to have the 10 mixed in some trifectas here, but I'm rolling with the 8 on top with James Bond and Dylan Davis. Vitanza in the first race, or second race of the day.
All right, very good. Just one quick comment from me. First off, Vitanza's a Get Stormy horse, and we love Get Stormy progeny, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of his horses run on the grass. Second, Zip It Jess, 15 to 1 in that race. If you want to just take a quick look at him, horse closed last year as a 2-year-old on the turf. His 3 dirt races are abysmal. Just toss him out. Back on the grass, 2 to 3 improvement. Also has a shot at 15 to 1 to help out. Let's go to race 5. Bobby.
Thanks, Geese. So in race 5, which is fillies in a first level allowance sprinting on the turf, my selection is going to be the 5. I'll handle the cash for Ray Handel and Irad Ortiz, 5 horse, 8 to 1. This is another race, classic Saratoga race, really wide open. I think there's going to be, a bit of speed out in front, the 2 Paperclip and the 1A Noble Freud, and I think the 5 can really sit the perfect trip with Irad here, 3rd or 4th, get the rail, angle out, coming around the turn, and come home and get the money. Obviously the 1 looks really tough in here, the favorite, but the 1's coming off a really long layoff and is more of a deep closer sprinting on the turf, so I'm hoping that the 1 is left with a little bit too much to do and the 5 is able to get the jump on him. 5 really lightly raced, younger horse, 3 years old, only 2 races, and I really like that comeback effort in May at Belmont. Got a 75 buyer, 12 to 1, got the win. So I think this horse is ready for the step up to allowance ranks here, and I think can get it done at a price.
Excellent. Good selection. Let's hope that leads to more cooler traveling for Danny in the future. And we're going to go right back to Bobby again for race 7. What do you like there?
Yeah, so 7th is a state bred first level allowance sprinting on the dirt. My selection is going to be the 3, Kazmania. 10 to 1 on the morning line. Peter Casamillas trainer, Louis Reyes as the jockey. Somewhat unknown connections here, which I'm sort of hoping allows me to get a better price here. Trainer is more of a breeder, but occasionally, gets in the game as a trainer for his own homebreds. Historically, wins at about a 15% clip, so definitely knows how to train, even if he doesn't have that many runners. This horse, 3-year-old, pretty lightly raced, came back off the layoff at Belmont, had a lot of trouble last race. I don't think the running line gives it justice. I just watched the replay. Going down the backstretch, the horse in front of him broke down and actually took a bad step, and he had to steady a bit there. And then coming down the stretch, tried to squeeze through on the rail, didn't have enough space, almost looked like he bumped into the rail, and then angled out, finished a little bit evenly, which is understandable off the layoff and with the trouble. If you look back at that race in December at Penn, that race might beat this field. Really impressive performance. So I'm hoping that this horse can get back to that. And I think you're going to get a price because of the unknown connection, sort of a hidden bad trip last out. And again, just don't see any killers in this race. Looks like there's a decent amount of pace, so I'm going to be looking for the 3 Casmania to close a bit from like mid-pack and get up there in the 7.
All right, excellent. 10-1 shot. All right, we're going to move to my first selection of the season, which is going to be in race 8. Race 8 is a maiden special weight, 5.5 furlongs on the grass. And this is the kind of race, I like to look at the buyer pars. The buyer par here is 81. That means that average winning buyer in this race is 81. There isn't a horse in here over a 72 or 73. So that leads me to think that the favorites are vulnerable, that there's just nobody special in this race, and the horse could jump up and win. The horse I'm looking at is So Gracious, the 4 horse at 10-1. Trained by Brittany Russell, who is the wife of Sheldon Russell, who's a very competent rider down in the Laurel circuit. Very new trainer. She is hitting at 20% though. So again, just like Bobby said in his race, we're looking for a price, and we're looking for a horse that's not going to take money in New York. And this horse is not going to take money here. Excellent 2 to 3. Horse ran 5.5 furlongs, got a good buyer in December. Hasn't run in 6 months, has tremendous turf Tomlinsons and breeding out of Speightstown. So we're looking for him to sit just off the pace. The 6 and the 7 are going to be the 2 favorites. Jonathan Thomas horse coming out of a nice maiden special at Monmouth. In first wave with Rusty Arnold, who ran second in an off the turfer, but again has tremendous turf breeding from Warfront and Danzig. So I'm going to look at my 10-1 shot there. I think we might be able to get 15 or 20-1 on this one, and probably hook him up with a couple of the logical horses. But we're looking to try to get a nice long shot, and I figure they came up from Laurel for a reason. They're going to try to score here and make a splash. So let's go to the last race, which is race 11. And Danny and I are going to go head to head here. We're going to give Danny the first shot.
All right, race 11, last race of the day. Some may say that Daily Double Dan's the last race of the day specialist. They wouldn't be lying. Last race of the day, going a mile on the turf, claiming 25,000. Wide open race here, which is what we like. I'm looking at the number 6 Coltrane here. See very little pace in this race, really none at all. I think he could get a pretty easy lead out on the front. And if you look back at some of his past performances, he can handle that, and he can do well on that. 3 back. Going a mile on a 16th, ran around the track, got caught right at the end there, and going back last year, March 9th, he did exactly that. Wired the field, ran a nice 87 buyer, right on track with the buyer part for this race, and he won at 35-1. So I'm hoping to get somewhere between 10 and 20-1 on the Coltrane here. Dylan Davis, last race of the day, love that.
All right. Now, when he says some would say that Danny's a last race expert, I believe he's just speaking about himself who says that. I'm not sure anyone else says that.
That's a lie.
We'll see about that. I think Coltrane has a shot. The only problem I have with him is the 1 horse Basha, who's got the rail and has speed and can mess things up for him. If you know how these speed things are. If there's 2 horses, sometimes one of them goes to the front, the other backs off. That's going to be interesting to see. I think in the first 100 yards, you're going to find out if that 6 is going to have that lead. If he does, he could be dangerous. The horse really to beat is Prognostication, the 7 at 5-2 with Chad Brown. But you know what? I mean, the horse is 3 for 11. Wins a claiming 40, non-winners a 2, starter allowance. As soon as he puts him up into allowance, he doesn't run well. First time out this year, and he drops him right down to a claiming 25. So I think there's a little price tag on this horse. They're not really impressed with him this year. I'm going to look at 2, Shalako, 10-1. One of my favorite horses, 2 for 3 at Saratoga. We've won on him in the past at a good price, 11-1. Ran on the dirt through the winter, ran some nice races, $100,000 race, runs 3rd. Gets back on the turf the last 2 times out, and seems to be showing more speed than he normally does. I'm not really crazy. I'm not sure why, but the 2 horses that won in front of him, both were wire-to-wire shots, and he chased and then lost a little bit of strength at the end. Dropping in class from 40 to 25, getting an inside post. I like to see him sitting off the speed and come get him. If he can sit 4th or 5th, I think he's got a much better shot than trying to sit too close to the pace. So we're going to take a shot here with him, and That's it for today, folks. It's a great Saturday, beautiful day here today. Let's go get them, and let's hope that today is your day.